What's good, Dark Knight? It's your boy Zay coming at you another video, and in this video, I'm just gonna kind of talk to you a little bit about TikTok brands. Now, if it's one thing that I have like a thing that I don't like about these TikTok brands sometimes, is that let's talk about the pricing. So one of my big issues about it is that these TikTok brands, and it seems to be specifically TikTok brands, they will charge you the most craziest price for a simple design. It's not like how you would with a designer brand, charge a much higher price because it has technique, different stitching, good, crazier materials, which justify the purchase of that. These a lot of times these brands, these TikTok brands, have just cotton a cotton t-shirt, and that's about it, blended in with some polyester, and that's about it. And it's like, okay, why am I paying $70 for this and it isn't actually good material, or it's literally super common material? And it's like, what do I get out of it? It doesn't get a custom fit on it, 'cause a lot of it's just it just blanks, which is, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's, why is it so high? That's the good question. And the same thing goes for like the jackets as well. Like they will charge you like 100 or 200 and say that this is premium stuff, and it's not premium stuff. It's just a jacket with a graphic on it. Yes, I do agree the art does take some time, and I think that's one of the misconceptions when it comes from the customer perspective, is that they don't realize how much time and work it goes into a garment. But again, that depends on what it may be. If it's just a garment that's being screen printed on, yeah, that doesn't take that much to actually create that. All you do is literally create the design, whatever the design may be, and then you screen print it or get someone to manufacture it for you. And it's like, okay, well, why are you justifying paying $40 or $50 for a screen printed design with the basic materials? And the thing is, I don't think a lot, I don't even think a lot of them understand materials and fabrics, techniques, or any of that stuff. I don't think they understand any of that stuff, or even stitching and how it should be stitched, or what you should stitch it with, or what gives you a better result and all that stuff. I think I, from their perspective, what it seems like to me when I observe it is that they look at it from a money perspective, more of a, just, I wouldn't say, more like not a capitalist, I don't know, but they think of just the numbers. And yeah, they do care about the customers, and I can definitely give them that, right? I think that's a benefit that I'm definitely starting to see. It's good customer service, and I love to see that, bro. I really do, because it's good customer service can go a long way, bro, especially for the future. But again, back to what I'm saying though, it's like, I don't think they understand any of the what it takes to construct a garment. And of course, if they're startups, then okay, it's kind of makes sense. But I think over time, you should start to slowly progress and get to understanding more and more about the space that you're in and stuff like that. I think that's relevant. And my problem specifically is really with the new beginners, like the people who just started their first brand. Like it's their very first drop, and they are charging $50, $60 for a graphic tee that they screen printed and created themselves, as if they created the most insane and the most genius body of work. Like, it's like, no, it doesn't justify that. I think sometimes, because I'm an artist, so I understand how it feels. I understand from the artist perspective, but I also understand from the business perspective and the customer's perspective. You have to give your customers the value that the time that you put into the garment, the technique, the craftsmanship, the design, intellectual property, but you also have to be reasonable when you're pricing this stuff. Like, you guys are charging this stuff, and sometimes they're charging it with plus shipping or something like that. So it's like you're paying additional $50 plus like a $20 shipping, depending on where you are or something like that, or even less than that. But again, it's just like, is it justifiable me purchasing you? First of all, let's give you guys a little tip from the business side of this. You don't have any brand loyalty. No one knows who you are. This is your very first drop. And again, why would someone buy something from someone they don't know? They don't know if you're a scam or not. So you have to build brand loyalty to the customers to make sure that you're a trusted buyer from them. So then they can keep coming back to you, and of course give great customer support and all that stuff. But you guys are charging unreasonable prices, and then when people don't want to buy it and say, "Oh no, I don't want to buy this," you guys get upset about it, and then be crying to them saying, "Y'all don't appreciate my work, and the price is the price. If you don't want to buy it, just say you're broke." It's like that's weaponizing. Let's be honest with you, for lack of better words, pretty garbage or mid designs, and decent and low quality to mid quality garments. It's just like, how are you going to talk down on a customer and claim that they're broke because they don't want to buy your overpriced graphic tee or your overpriced custom your really overpriced hoodie or jacket. And it's just like, some of the designs you guys make are absolutely horrendous. What I mean, especially when it comes to the hoodie space, you guys make some of the cringiest designs, and you guys want to charge like $160 or $200 for it. And it's like, bro, who wants to buy this? Like, this is terrible designs. But again, at the same time, you do have to call a spade a spade. People do end up buying it. Some people, at least. Like, people who just don't, like, they're more of the casual kind of people who like don't really understand the fashion space at all, so they just kind of buy anything that they think that, I mean, I don't know, it's weird. They buy some really crappy designs and then like think it's good. But again, I guess one could argue the same thing for high fashion as well, because I mean, look at some of the high fashion garments that comes out or is produced. But nevertheless, they have at least one thing I can give credit for them. They have at least a much more tasteful and a better knowledge of fashion itself. So, but yeah, it's just like, why charge so many high prices for a simple graphic tee or a simple design, or even a low tier design or a low tier garment? It's just like, it doesn't make sense to me, from not only from a customer's perspective. It makes sense from a business perspective because that just means more money, but from a customer perspective, it doesn't make sense. And it's not just me who gets mad at these TikTok brands charging super high prices for no absolute reason. Like, it's not just me, it's the customers are the people who are buying it or want to buy it. Now, of course, you do have people on TikTok, because again, it's TikTok, so sometimes you do have people who just be weird, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, some of the people on TikTok are just like complete haters. Like, their sole goal is to just get on, and usually it's people who be hiding behind anime pages, no face pages, or it's some type of goofy meme or it's something, and it's something silly. And these be the people who talk the most on TikTok. I kid you not. I don't know why they talk the most. And they never show their face, by the way. These are the people who never show their face. They talk the most craziest stuff ever. And again, it's just like, those are people you don't want to listen to at all. But for people who really do want to purchase your stuff, it's like, you gotta be reasonable when you're making this stuff. Now, eventually, when you get to a much bigger stage, you don't have to justify yourself then, because your name holds weight to it. Which again, there's a 50-50, there's a kind of 50-50 relationship I kind of have with that. Like, I like that idea, but I don't like the idea, because on one hand, brands just think that this is just a gateway to produce garbage quality, and well, they're gonna pay for it because it's the name. And people do that. Just look at a lot of high fashion brands. You guys pay for a lot of garbage, and quite honestly, lower quality pieces than what they used to be, because they're saving money while also charging you the utmost highest. And you're eating it up. You're eating it up, especially when it comes to logos. Like, logo mania is something crazy. People just can't get away from the idea from being logo heavy sometimes. So like, it's like, I understand, you know what I mean? But still. Oh, another thing I do want to talk about is the design language on for TikTok brands. I do want, like, bro, this is crazy. These TikTok brands, when I tell you, bro, they look copy and paste every freaking single time. That I really could not tell you the difference between some brands to other brands, because they literally look the same, but it's just something slightly different. That is literally it. A lot of them have the same graphics, the same design, and the same look and aesthetic. Like, it's just literally clones of each other, but a mutation of each other. That's about it. There's nothing interesting being brought to it. It's nothing new at all. It's nothing new. It's just copy and paste and change up a graphic. That's it. Same look, same aesthetic, and everything. And it's just like, from an artistical perspective, I think that's very boring. Like, your goal as a brand is to look different compared to the other brands. Your brand is supposed to stand out compared to the other brands, the other million quadrillion brands. And it's kind of hard because they're all looking the same. And it's just like, okay, well, do I buy from this brand or do I buy from this brand? Oh, just to find out this brand does the exact same thing as this brand does. And so what it looks like to me, and I'm sure the people on there are just saying to themselves, oh, no, this is the craziest thing. These brand owners be constantly saying, oh no, look at how set apart we are from these people, and then look at the design, and then look at their design, and then look at the other person's design, and it's just like, okay, well, what do you see different? Oh yeah, mine just have a different logo. That's all it is. It's a different design. It's a different look. That's all it is. It's nothing changed. Still the same aesthetic. Still the same thing. No, it's just something slightly changed. That's all it is. And perfect example would be the Y2K, the whole Y2K trend. When that started popping out, bro, people, I kid you not, were hitting the copy and paste button constantly. They were hitting Control C and Control V every single time, and you couldn't tell what looks different. People still do it now. I kid you not. A lot of these brands still do it now. They don't change up anything at all. They just kind of stay the same, and it's just like, it's uninteresting. Like, I think a lot of the clothing brands are a lot uninteresting. They're not interesting at all to me from an artistical perspective. They're not interesting at all. They all look the same to me, and it's just like, okay, like it's your typical graphic mock-up. It's a mock-up with the Y2K logo, anime girl with guns, punk inspired, and that's literally about it. And it's just like, they charge crazy prices for it. The same fonts, the same Bjork font that you see, the same cyber font. Like, it's just like, bro, you see it all the time. And it's like, when are these brands going to actually change it up? Because I think I hope so, people start to get annoyed with seeing the same brand over and over with just something slightly changed. That's it. I hope they get annoyed with that, because I would as a customer. I would be like, bro, you don't look any different from any other brand. I could just buy a brand that's just the cheapest. That's about it. Because that's really all that they offer at this point. Like, the TikTok brand space, it's just, I think that's just because that's how TikTok is in general. It's just everyone copies everyone. It's like, there's no originality at all, no creativity. And whenever people do end up doing something creative, it ends up looking really dog awful. So it's just like, okay, like, I don't know, man. But this is my little talk and little, like, discussion about these whole little TikTok brands. I kind of made only really 2 points, which was just the pricing and then the unrecognizability of these brands, or the copy and paste in these brands. And but I guess there's nothing else I can really talk about, because I think that's really the only thing when it comes to TikTok brands. Like, nah, I do have one more. And my last point I do gotta kind of talk about is that a lot of these pieces don't have any meaning behind them. And I think especially if you're an artist, the underestimation of storytelling in a piece of a garment or a look, it is key to making something worth the purchase, if you know the story behind it, or if you know what that piece represents, because that could build a really strong connection with the buyer and the person. Especially, you can get kind of that almost uh, not grailed effect, but you can get a much more personal connection with the viewer if it relates to you as the owner, or if it's something that you're discussing about and it's something that the person goes through. Like, never underestimate the power of relatability to people, because it goes a really long way. And I just don't see any storytelling or any sort of creative type of aspect of it. Now, of course, you don't have to storytell all the time, which is, that's perfectly fine, but it's good to at least do some storytelling to give your pieces some merit to them, so they hold some weight to them, and they're just not like really cool designs, which is, it's cool in a sense, right? I think it's perfectly fine to do that, but I don't think it's always good to always just kind of have that where it's just these pieces mean nothing. This is just clothing to me. Like, I think now you can critique that point, right? I think that's fair if you do that. But I think this is just my personal opinion when it comes to this part. I think that if you do have something that connects to people or relates to people, it makes the piece much more, I guess, alive, if that makes sense. But that's just like my last point. I guess I have to say. I think everything else is pretty decent, or not too bad. It's just kind of like simple startup stuff. But for the most part, I think that's everything I need to say. But with all that further ado said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the video, and show me some love, bro. Share the video out to people so we can constantly grow the Dark Knight community, bro. And as always, I love you, Dark Knights.